The Mushroom Kingdom wasn't always this way.
Hold your head up. None of us are the heroes we're supposed to be.
Abductions and mutilations in the surrounding areas.
What a city, huh?
How far do you have to fall
It's good tip, bro. Now you be repaying.
before you will sell yourself to the devil to save a gutted kingdom?
I'll find every fucker in this kingdom until I find my woman!
They connect me to Ganon.
I know nothing about Ganon. We all will burn.
You're super.
Kenneth Waugh.
Alright, you ready? Okay, hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Geeky Gentlemen. I am Super2. Joining me today is...
Yep, boy, Rasco.
Shaboy indeed. Rasco, what are we talking about today on fan film reviews?
Today we're talking about There Will Be Brawl.
Yes, indeed we are. This is an interesting episode of Geeky Gentlemen because we've actually done an episode on this before. Back when the show first got its name is when we did an episode on this. So it has been a minute. I've been doing this show longer than I've been doing any other thing besides basic biological functions like breathe or eat. So I find that interesting. And I don't know, we didn't just focus on fan films at that point in time, and so I thought it'd be interesting to go back to this, being that it's aged a lot, and being that there are a lot better fan films now, but I don't know, I just thought it'd be interesting to talk about in a wider context of fan films, and Rasco also hasn't seen it or talked about it before, so I don't know, I feel like this won't be a complete retread. I certainly have a different opinion of it now. But before we get into all that jazz, you can download episodes of Geeky Gentlemen. There's a link in the description. Download this episode. You can download old episodes by request. Just leave a comment on an old episode, and I'll upload it for you so you can listen on the go. You can find old episodes like the original episode of There Will Be Brawl that we did years and years ago in the Geeky Gentlemen playlist. Alright, so Rasco, what'd you think?
Really like this.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's weird because it does a bunch of things that I always say fan films shouldn't do.
Such as?
This is the most ambitious fan film we've reviewed, or fan series, fan whatever. This is definitely the most ambitious.
Uh-huh.
And it is one of those things where every single aspect is really contradictory of another aspect of it, but it somehow works. So it's really ambitious, but they don't even try to live up to this scale of story. They're just this is what we could do. We could do some basic prosthetic noses. We could do some costumes, and we'll splurge on the big wig characters that need to look pretty cool. We'll splurge a little bit there, but we can't really focus too much on the production value here. So they do that. At the same time, you're expected to take it really seriously, and I totally can. And what's weird is that it's only comedic if you're thinking about, like, what this is supposed to be, like, after, because they're talking about, like, what we know as, like, regular Nintendo video games and stuff like that. Like, they're talking about, like, that world, like, that used to be the world, but it's not like that anymore. And that's the only way in which it's comedic, because it's kind of completely straight. Like, every aspect of this is just totally played straight.
And I think this is interesting to talk about after we, recently did the episode on Batman, the death of Batman, because that is something that's not supposed to be funny at all. It's supposed to be taken completely serious, and it takes itself so seriously that it becomes hilarious inadvertently. This is a parody that plays itself completely straight.
Yeah.
And, like, there are jokes here, but they are reference jokes. They're, like, for the audience. No one in the series is joking, truly.
Mm-hmm.
Like, there are a couple moments here and there where, like, characters share an exchange, but there's no, like, isn't this funny kind of moments.
Yeah.
There's no gags.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a very different opinion on this than I originally did, because I still like it. I still think it's interesting. It might be a problem of just watching it all together, but I think it is entirely too long. Initially it was meant to be a series and yada yada, so there's some leeway there. And the episodes get progressively longer, so you can tell they were satisfying fan demand there. But at the end of the day, what makes it entertaining is how much this is not the tone of Nintendo things, and how novel an experience it is to see super ultra dark and gritty Nintendo characters. And that novelty really starts to wear off for me, being that this is, I think, the third or fourth time I've seen the thing in its entirety, and just the sheer amount of time that you spend in it all. I just found myself, as I was watching it this time around, like, just losing interest and going to do, other stuff, look at stuff on my phone or whatever.
I think that what really works about, I think this is something that kind of has, like, a little bit of, like, third act problems.
Mm-hmm.
But what works about, like, the earlier episodes, and why I really, really love, like, the first, like, 3 to 4 episodes of this, like, I absolutely love them. And I think what it is that they perfectly, so it's very much it's characters filling roles that you've already seen before, but, like, that work really well. So, like, Wario is the best example.
Yeah.
He is, for one, that actor is great as Wario, but he is, like, perfectly, they use his character perfectly. He's, like, the sleazy guy who isn't really a bigwig at all. He's totally, like, he's a small fry in the grand scheme of things, but you're introduced to him and he kind of seems like he's on the level of the rest of the characters you've been introduced to. And like, they nail him all the way through. But, like, he serves, it's kind of like a different thing by the end that it's not in the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
In the beginning, it is very, like, street. And then towards the end, it does get a little bit more heightened. And characters stop filling roles within the genre, and they kind of, like, just become the characters in a bigger thing that's no longer as much tied to, like, a more, like, street noir genre type thing.
That is the thing. Like, as soon as you get to, Mr. Game & Watch getting the Smash Ball and Ganondorf, like, it starts to get beyond itself, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That is really noticeable. And don't get me wrong, it's really cool and fun to see all that stuff, and, like, there's a street war and all that. That's neat, and, I love the scene where Mario gets the star in the last episode. That's cool. But it just does start to get a little outside of what you initially got interested in with it, I think.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, I do think that it gets worse as it goes on. And that might just be a problem of trying to do too much.
I think so too. That being said, I really do like the very end, like after like Luigi is like potentially dead, and then like Mario carries his body down, and then he has that like last flashback of Peach. I really do like all of that stuff. The very very end.
Yeah, and I like, you know, it's weird because I like things about the finale. Like, I love that, what's his fucking name? What are the name of the kids? I can't remember those fucking kids.
Oh god, I can't remember the names either.
Ah, shit. PK Fire fucking kids, whatever. PK Thunder! I remember that shit from them. Like, I really like the twist of Kirby manipulated those two and drove them insane and made them into, like, super powerful serial killers. That's a cool twist, but again, it's just the grand epicness of everything else that's going on, even though it's like, it looks like a gang war still, but with all the stuff with Game & Watch, it doesn't fit anymore.
Yeah, it stops being like a genre thing. It like gets out of the genre that it was playing in, and
yeah,
that's my problem with the end.
But no, I really like the approach they do with Kirby. Just it is like a total parody of the whole Nolan thing, right? Of okay, how can we interpret this character in like a gritty real world setting? It's like, okay, well, what does Kirby do? Well, he sucks people in and then gains their power and usually like dresses up as them for a couple seconds. So what does Kirby do? Well, he eats people and wears their heads around. Okay, that's terrifying.
He's really fucking creepy.
It is. They just do Hannibal Lecter, but with Kirby. And they're not shy about that. That's brilliant. I don't know. This is one of those things where, like, I don't think this is aged particularly well, both in the visuals and the special effects, all that stuff. But I think it was really good for the time.
It's one of those things where, like, you're totally right. It definitely hasn't. I can't say like I didn't watch this, but I've watched things like this. I remember a lot of small kind of like fan stuff that I have watched in the past. That at the time you're like, this is awesome, and it's crazy to go back and watch older YouTube videos where the quality of the video is so much lower than you're used to now. And you're like, oh my god, I forgot YouTube used to be like this, and it's weird because outside of YouTube videos, that wouldn't be charming at all. Like, something about it with YouTube, it just, like, kind of takes me back, and it's weird because it's just, there's no real reason for it. It's not like it actually adds anything to the experience, like the lower quality. It just takes me back to an older time on YouTube.
Yeah, nostalgia for 4x3 videos.
Yeah.
And channels actually made... You know what's really weird is to look at an old video where they pull up the yellow subscribe button.
Oh, yeah.
And the star rating. There we go.
Oh, that's weird. You're right, that is weird. This, like... I have to say, like, something that really gets me about this is just, like, the pure dedication. Like, they just fucking made this. Like, they just did it. They went, like, that's so impressive to me. Like, just going all the way with this. Like, they took it.
I mean, it obviously got bigger as it went on, right?
Absolutely. But, like, they got actors, and the actors stay with their roles. Like, they're just consistent, and, like, I'm just like, this is ridiculous. Like, how do you take part in this? Like, it's just one of the things where how do they, like, get people to come in and be a part of this project? I don't understand.
Dude, I'm sitting here trying to cast for an audio drama, and I'm having trouble finding people. And so, yeah, just getting actors for something like this as long-term as this was, because this went on for, like, almost 2 years, I think. That's really impressive that they managed to keep everybody. Like, could you imagine how disorienting that would be if, like, Luigi's actor changed midway through or something?
Oh, it would ruin it. It would kill it. Like, it wouldn't work. It would really bother me.
Yeah.
By the way,
and
the
like,
Luigi actor is great, and he looks so Luigi-like. It's hilarious. Dude. Him and Mario both are perfect.
Oh, yeah. My only complaint about them is I don't like that the hats are like the, Nintendo brand hats that you can buy.
Oh, yeah?
I really wish that they'd gone out and, like, actually gotten, you know, what do they call them, cadet caps, and, like, you know, ironed on an M and an L to the top of them or something. But no, I love just the look of those two guys. It took me a while when I first watched this to realize that they had prosthetic noses on.
Yeah.
But seriously, they look so fucking perfect, and it's just ridiculous because they're so violent. When Mario fucking murders Donkey Kong,
It's great, and like, I love how they like do really smart little setup payoff things. Like, Mario just doesn't have a hat, and then like there's actually a reason why he doesn't have a hat, and then he gets his hat later. Like, that's not just like, oh, we don't have a Mario hat. Like, there's a purpose there. And I love like when Wario comes out with all the Yoshis. And, like, there's just, like, a little, like, reaction shot of Mario, and he's like, I sold those. Later on, he's talking about how he had to sell those to Wario, and it's like, oh my god, that really sucked, that's sad, but I'm glad that they, like, took an opportunity there to make something out of that, like, an actual character moment. I really like that.
yeah, and like it's such little things, like these little references that they actually make into big character things, like Mario's medical practice.
That was
got
great.
closed
That was
out.
hilarious, dude. That was so fucking great.
Have you ever seen a fucking plunger in these hands? I love it. It's so violent. It's like Tarantino got the license to all the Nintendo characters.
It's like, what the fuck? I'm just thinking about it. It's so weird, but I don't know. I really like it.
Well, what's interesting is this is, at least in part, produced by Machinima, like, after the fact, obviously. Machinima does that with a lot of fan films. Like, after it gets popular, it'll host them or something.
Yeah.
It's weird because Machinima did another series. Well, it's not quite the same thing. It is very, very close. And it's called Mario Warfare. Where it's like very gritty Mario characters and stuff. It's like a little more action focused as opposed to crime focused. It's more like political, I guess you'd call it, but I mean it's the same basic things. Like Donkey Kong's a guerrilla fighter and there's all this other shit. It's another Machinima produced series. I'm like, it's so weird that this went off and at least in part, I'd have to argue, inspired crap like that.
Probably, yeah.
And that's, you know, it's better quality and better fight choreography and all that jazz. This is more entertaining.
I'm sure. And just having seen this, I'm sure this. I can't even say this. I haven't seen the thing you're talking about, but like this is like pretty well plotted, and it's got some pretty fucking good writing. That's the weird thing about it is like, it's one of those things where it's just like, it somehow like manages like to overcome a lot of just like technical setbacks that you would think they would have because of like how strangely competent it is in so many areas. It's so weird.
Yeah, like there's some brilliant exchanges of dialogue, I will say. Like, I love the moment where they're on the battlefield and Luigi goes up to Wario, is like, you kill the kid? Is like, I'm not the proud man, Luigi. I'm like, holy shit, that's such a good line.
Yeah, that's fucked.
That is such a fucking good line. I've never been a proud man. His delivery, everything about that is just damn perfect. And then there's like, I don't know, just the subversions of expectations with some of the stuff is really good. The way it world builds, yeah, I can't lie. A lot of this stuff is really good. I just think that after it loses the novelty on you, it does really start to drag, given its length.
Yeah, I'm. How much like total runtime does this have?
I'm pretty sure it's like 2.5 hours. Or if not 2 hours, because I spent a long ass time watching it last night, and you know we're recording this literally minutes after you finished it.
Yeah, so like, I don't know. I feel like you could probably cut. I really almost think you could cut like the last episode in half.
Mm-hmm.
And some, like, and maybe not even just specifically that episode, you could take out quite a bit of, like, the final 3 episodes, I think.
Yeah, there's just a lot of stuff I don't think you need. Damn it, isn't there, like, a setting where it tells you exactly how long a playlist is?
I do not know.
No, I guess not.
Not for the jet.
Playlist info? No, cancel. I don't know, I'm just trying to see if I could figure that out, and it doesn't look like it. Like 12 minutes for the first episode, 9 minutes for the second, 12 minutes for the third, 13 minutes for the fourth, 17 minutes for the fifth, 15 minutes for the sixth, 16 minutes for the seventh, 19 minutes for the eighth, 25 minutes for the ninth, and 35 minutes for the 10th episode.
Yeah.
So that gives you, for those that want to add all that up, that gives you a pretty good indication of how damn long it is.
Yeah, I think that you just don't let any of the episodes run over like 15 minutes. And
Yeah,
solve
I'd say
the pacing problems.
Yeah, I'd say so too. I think that would really fix a lot of it. Again, it's also clearly not meant to be watched all in one go. This was done as a series, and it was paced that way. There's even stuff to remind you, and the beginning of episodes, stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a good point, right? Like if you're following this, I used to watch this. Holy shit! I just thought of an idea for what I want us to review next time. Hold on.
Cool.
Okay. But,
go ahead and write it down somewhere.
Yeah, I'm writing it down right now. Fuck yes! I'm so excited to talk about this. Okay. But it's because I can remember tons of other like fan type series things that we would I would watch when I was a lot younger. And it's one of the things where once something really starts to realize that there's a following, they get a lot more confident, and they're like, okay, people are going to watch this if we make a half an hour long episode. Like, people will watch it because we have that fan base. And so I can see being a viewer at the time, waiting episode to episode, that you would want there to be like this big bloated finale if you're a huge fan of this kind of thing, because you wouldn't really want it to end, and you want as much as you possibly could. Yeah,
I mean that's pretty much the Joker Blogs to a T. Joker Blog's last finale episode of the initial first season, and like not counting the stuff they did for a second season that never finished, their last finale episode was like 20 minutes long. People go, oh, you don't even need like at least half of that finale. I'm like, yeah, you don't need it, but that was done for fans because people wanted it. There's a difference. And so I understand. People wanted this half-hour thing. Again, reviewing it after the fact, after seeing it multiple times, like for you, I'm sure parts of it maybe dragged a little, but it probably was not as big a problem as far as pacing is concerned for you as it is for me. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah, that's fair to say. I could see watching this again, getting a little, getting a little like, I don't want to say bored, but like, yeah, I could see myself losing interest with some of the later episodes.
Yeah, and it just, as it goes on, it gets harder to commit to sitting there and watching, and that's a problem in retrospect, and that's how we're reviewing this now, in retrospect. While it was coming out, I can see, but I don't know, maybe they should release a cut of this that's edited more to watch as a movie. It's something to consider. Mm-hmm. Regardless of all that, though, let's talk more of the positives on here. Favorite interpretation of a character?
God, I'm gonna say Wario.
Yeah? Okay. As much as like he is like so not important to the story overall, or he's just kind of like a distraction to the story, I really like what they do with Pikmin. Mm-hmm. Or with the Pikmin guy.
Yeah.
I can never remember his name, but the astronaut dude.
Yeah.
He's a cult leader, which is like perfect if you've ever played Pikmin, because you just send little fuckers off on suicide missions.
Yeah. Also,
Great interpretation.
I want to throw out, I love what they do with Snake and Sonic.
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Like, just that whole part where they're in that alley, and like, Sonic like rolls up and bites that guy's leg, and just like how Snake is like a homeless veteran. It's so funny.
I've got to admit, I'm a little disappointed in Sonic, just being a Sonic fanboy. I was like, but maybe he could have been like this, rival of Mario's that's like now down in the gutter or something. But no, he's just kind of like faceless, and I found that disappointing.
Yeah, that is a weird thing. Like, you'd think that they would go out of their way to make Sonic a more like in-your-face presence in this, and like give him a really important role. But that being said, it's almost funnier that he doesn't, because he's like paralyzed. He's like paralyzed and homeless.
Yeah, totally. Okay, let's figure out this one. Who showed up here where you had to go, who the fuck is that?
Well, this is like, okay, this is like the one where it's like, not, okay, this is obvious who it is. It's just like so not at all what this character looks like in a funny way that I'm like, what? And that's Donkey Kong.
Oh, yeah?
Because like you're like, oh, it's a gorilla. That's obviously Donkey Kong, but he looks like a crack whore gorilla. It's like hilarious.
Yeah, no, I mean character who you didn't even know who they were. Like not based on their interpretation, but like you looked at him and go, who the fuck's that supposed to be? Like, I don't even know this character. Like, is there anyone that you had to like Google this?
Well, you talk about it's from the Pikmin, or is it Pinkman, or it's Pikmin, right? The like astronaut cult leader guy.
Yeah.
I had no idea who he was when I first saw him for like a while, and then I remember playing one of those fucking games on like the GameCube when I was really little. I was like, is that what that is? And I just kind of assumed that that's who it was, and yeah.
Gotcha. For me, who was it? You see her like really briefly, but the chick with the green hair in D2D's whorehouse, I had no idea who the fuck that was supposed to be. Like, I saw Princess Rosalita, or whatever her name is, the princess from Rosalina from Super Mario Galaxy. I saw her in D2D's whorehouse. But I wasn't sure who the green-haired chick was, so I had to look that up. Haley didn't realize who Pauline was. I thought that was pretty funny. Yeah. Okay, so we talked about favorite version character. Was there a version of a character where you're like, that's a disappointing idea?
Fuck.
Like, you were disappointed by how they used him, other than Sonic.
I don't know. I really like... Okay. I really like Red. Oh, actually, no, I'm not even going to complain about Red from Pokemon. I liked him. I'm going to say Waluigi is really funny, but
Yeah.
it's just not what I would have done with Waluigi. Like, I would have given him a little bit more sanity so that he could be more of a character than just kind of like a crazy person.
Well, he's clearly meant to be, like, retarded.
Yeah, but like, I know. It's just like, I don't know. I wouldn't have done that with him.
I couldn't help but laugh at that, because it's just like the way he comes in, he's like, we want to play Olympics?
I would make him like a super hardcore, like, meth addict character. Like, he's like a twitcher.
Gotcha. Well, it's interesting to look at what Mario Warfare did with him, because that, you know, it's similar premise of a series, but he's much more intimidating than that one. He's like actively a bad guy, so I don't know. It was one of those things where, like, I probably shouldn't laugh at this, but at the same time, that's just the perfect way to work in the references to all the other Mario games. I can't. I cannot imagine any other way that you could reference Mario Kart and Mario Olympics and all the other Mario Party things in this universe other than that kid. Or other than that character. I cannot imagine another way to get that reference in there.
Yeah. I was really distraught when Red died.
Red.
Is nothing. Well, I don't.
I just assumed it was Ash. I didn't know if it was supposed to be like.
Oh, within the Pokemon games, his name is Red.
Oh, weird.
It's a weird thing, yeah. But it makes no sense. His name is Red. His rival is Blue. They're named after colors. It's fucking weird.
Okay, whatever works.
It's just Pokemon. Pokemon in colors. That's how it's always been. It's weird.
Gotcha. I don't know. All right. Was there a line or a moment that just, like, you couldn't help but laugh your ass off at, and, like, you maybe missed a little bit afterwards because you were just laughing so hard?
Fuck. I don't know. Oh, I'll tell you. Like, when fucking Luigi walks into his apartment for the first time, or maybe it's a house, I don't know, his apartment or house. When he walks in, and Peach and Mario are just, like, fucking on the couch. That's not a line, but that was hilarious. It's like, that was so fucking funny. Because I've seen that in so many movies. Just, like, people having sex like that, and it's, like, and it's not, like, it's just, like, not romanticized sex, and it's just, like, normal, it's played straight, it's not supposed to be anything, it's just like, yep. And that is what they're doing there, but it's hilarious, just because you're like, okay, that's where it really cements what it is. Like, that is not supposed to be funny, but it's hilarious, but it's really played straight within the context of the or within the series. It's great.
Yeah, I agree. My favorite moment is still from, like, I think it's the 4th episode, when it shows Luigi and Peach, like, went to go to a hotel together so they could fuck. And she's like, "You think I'm a whore? I don't think you're a whore." It used to be so simple. Stomp on the bad guys. Get the power up. Savor the princess.
I also...
When it all gets so fucking complicated.
I also love when you finally get Mario back on Yoshi.
Yeah.
That is so fucking cool. I think that's just awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I like when they go into the it's Lakitu's house, and they, like, you know, this fucking yuppie, just, that shit's hilarious to me. Alright, since we're just naming random moments, is there anything you wanted to bring up about it?
I just to kind of, like, go back to what I was saying at the very beginning. This is really weird because it's really ambitious, and it just succeeds in the fact that, like, it's so, like, well made from, like, every angle that they could, like, conceivably nail, regardless of budget. They kind of do. Mm-hmm. It's like when we were talking about how, like, we don't talk about fan fiction on here because there's no reason to go any easier on fan fiction because there's no, like, hindrance when someone's writing a fan fiction. Yeah. This, like, all those areas, like, just, like, writing, casting, actors, that all works so well. It's really hard for me to, like, complain about, like, anything that is just, like, really, like, low budget because it's almost really charming. It's really YouTube-y, and that's what I like about it. It's very much like, this is what YouTube was like when, like, I just love it.
Yeah, this is very much a product of YouTube. This would not ever get made in any other platform.
Yeah, because, like, you wouldn't be able to justify it, right? Like, you wouldn't be able to justify putting this much time into something unless it was, like, for YouTube.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. So it's this beautiful little project, this gem. I meant to go to their website and see if it's, like, available on DVD. I would like to own this, even though I don't think I'll ever sit down and watch it in its entirety again. Especially after this viewing. Like, don't get me wrong, I still like it, but even watching it with someone else, because I watched this whole thing with Haley, it's a struggle to get through. If the more you watch it, the less magical it is in that weird kind of way. I don't know. So I would like to just own it, though. I would like to have a copy of this outside of YouTube for whatever reason.
Yeah, that would be cool. It's something I want to like recommend to a lot of people. Like I already know that this is something that I'm going to be like, oh, you guys need to watch this. I already know that this is going to be something I just recommend to shit to people for some reason.
Yeah, and I've recommended it to people. I had it recommended to me by Bobby. We sat there and watched it back when I lived with my mom. We sat there and watched it for like 2.5 hours. Anytime we played Smash Bros. With his little brother would pick Ike because Bobby always picked Captain Falcon, and it made Bobby uncomfortable after seeing this. Just to fuck with him. It's pretty funny. Okay. So, Rasco, you got all... wait, no, shit. Hold on. Ratings. Rasco, what are you going to give this on our rating scales?
I'm going to give this a 4 out of 5 Yoshis on a chain, homie.
Okay. I'm going to be rating this watch through of it because I did not have as good an experience watching it this time as I've had in the past. So I'm going to do double rating, actually. I'm going to do this watch through and then an overall quality. So on this watch through, it was like a 2.5 out of 5 Pokeballs stuffed with intestines. On an overall quality for someone who just sits down and watches through this one time, I would say this is like... I'd agree with you. This is like a 4 out of 5 sledgehammers used to beat gorillas to death. That's what I'm going to put it. Oh, we didn't mention that. I love the integration of the weapons from Smash Bros.
Yep.
That's beautiful. I also really like the song cover they use at the end of, toward the end of it, where they're gathering the armies and all that shit.
Yeah.
'Cause it's actually the cover of the theme to Brawl.
Yes, I want to point this out. When they go to like the Pokemon fighting ring, it's playing like the Pokemon Game Boy like music, and it's like bum 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 bum, but it's like kind of like dumbed down to almost like it sounds a little like Mexican. I don't know, it's weird.
Yeah, because it's like a joke on cockfighting.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of great uses of soundtracks. Like there's some generic soundtracks. Oddly enough, it's really weird, but the soundtrack from Dexter gets passed around a lot of stuff, and I cannot tell you why. But this has a lot of tracks from the soundtrack to Dexter Season 1. Yeah. Like when Link and Mario are fighting, they're playing the song Fight from the Dexter OST. It's weird. But yeah, a lot of great sound design stuff in this. We didn't talk about that. A lot of great uses of music from the games and stuff, but covers that match the mood here. Alright. Rasco, you got all excited earlier. What are we talking about next time?
Okay, this is like not really a fan film, but I feel like if we've reviewed like animated Sonic stuff, we can review this because I don't know what other series I could ever see myself reviewing this. And it's fan filmish enough. It's called Spider-Man Resurrection.
Alright.
And it is a series that is really old. This is like a classic, like maybe year 1 or 2 of YouTube's existence series. And it's like a puppet show series of it's not stop motion. It's like with action figures, but like someone's hand is holding the action figure off screen.
Oh my god, it's like Bill's Godzilla Gang.
Yeah, it is.
Oh my god.
It's a series, the original channel that used to be on, it was called Mask Pow 2. The channel is gone, but someone else named Kurosh Bin has re-uploaded all the episodes. But the thing about the series is it never ended. They never actually ended the series as far as I'm aware. So I'm not sure if these last 2 episodes in this playlist are like, because a lot of other people have tried to jump in and finish the series, and it's just not the same. It's just not. It doesn't work. So in this playlist, I think these are all the official episodes made by the actual person who made the series, but I'm not sure. But it's got all of the actual episodes in there, and you'll know if it's not the actual series when you're watching it. But
Okay, well, let me ask this question. How many episodes are we talking here?
Okay, so these episodes range anywhere from 3 minutes to 9 minutes, and there's 18 episodes.
Okay, I'm going to try to do this differently than I watched the Brawl series. I'm going to try to watch these like one a day until our next recording session.
All right, that sounds about good.
1 or 2 a day. Okay, that sounds like the plan, ladies and germs. Alright, everyone, thanks very much for watching. Until next time, I'm the Philosopher.
And I'm the beta male cuck.
And we are your Geeky Gentlemen. And we will be discussing things.